Alright, this Power Season 4, Episode 9 review. Now, let's get into it. A lot happened. We see Tariq, and he's in the meeting with the guy for Choke, and at the same time, he getting hit up by Brains, asking him where he at. Tariq ignores it, plays it cool. He answers the questions, and Brains won't stop hitting him up, but he kept it cool. We see Ghost in the background like the puppet master he is, keeping everything cool, ready to pull the strings. After they were done with the meeting, they talk in the car. Tariq thinks it didn't go well, but Ghost tells him, actually, the interviewer told me he's going to recommend you, so you make me proud. Good job. And then we see Angie, and she's been with her sister, staying with her because her sister's worried about everything that went down with her. Tommy is talking on the phone to his daddy in prison, and Tony Teresi want him to come meet him, and Tommy saying, I got felonies. He say, we family, we'll be able to make it work. Dre is talking to the Primaris, trying to keep everything cool. He's still getting hit up by Kanan. They were talking, making jokes about what war Tommy gonna get him in next, but he kind of keeps everything cool. But on the side, he talked to Cristobal, and they got a plan they gonna put in place later tonight. He said, and it's gonna work. Now we see Angie, and she's talking with her new boss, and the new boss is saying, a lot's going on. You did good by helping to bring Mike in, and who would you recommend to be, head of the dish of criminal? And she said herself. We see Ghost walking with Councilman Tate, and they doing the interview, and he has to be excused for a second, and he go holler at this dude in the hood over across the street. And while Ghost is talking to her, she said, you the king of sound bites, and he said some things to her in Spanish, but it wasn't being recorded when he said that though. But nevertheless, we see this dude Terry all sniffing up a brown nose and Tasha in Ghost office. He brought the box of evidence back for her, and then he asked her, after I told you about Mike Sandoval, it's funny how he died less than 24 hours later. And she comes back with, well, he was a crooked and he put a lot of people in jail. Anybody could have killed him, so that could have been anything. She pulls her gun out of the box and puts it up into the safe. And then she's telling him, hey, I'm going to be leaving Ghost soon, and when I do, I'm going to be investing in the weave shops. And he quick to say he don't have no money to invest with his broke ass. And then she said, well, I'm not trying to get your money. Once I leave Ghost, I'll be using that alimony money. And so that made him happy. We see Tariq hooping in the gym, and then Brains and his boy walk in, and they saying, why you ain't been answering the text? What's going on? He said, man, I ain't no snitch. That'd make me guilty by association if I snitch. And so they said, all right, then. He said, what's up with the loot? They say, we'll get back with you. Then we see Simon Stern talking with Ghost in the office, and he was saying that he gonna have more of a role in speaking at the meeting. And Ghost was saying, I want to have more of a cut. And he was saying, well, you went behind my back with Councilman Tate. We see Tommy going through his mama's stuff looking for his birth certificate. He threatened to break all the dolls, collectible dolls she had, if she didn't tell him. That made her break. So then she tells him the birth certificate's right there. He gets the birth certificate. He say, this ain't it. And he was about to choke her out, saying, what you think happened to Holly? And so then she got scared, and she ended up giving him what he wanted, which was the original birth certificate from the hospital that had his last name as Teresi. And he said he gave him his name, and she got scared, and she said, well, he was a criminal and murderer. And he said, so am I. He goes, dips in her stash, and pulls out her coke. He said, don't ever call me again, ever. He goes into the garage, gets his car that he had let her hold for him, puts a little booger sugar on his hand, and now he's ready to go get beamed up to Scotty real quick, on the Enterprise. And, he's in the zone. He got a lot of stress going on, and he zooted out of his mind. We see Brains and his boy, and they playing video games while, Ray Ray just walks right in. They didn't even have the door locked. Ray Ray tell him, hey, man, we heard about the lick downtown. It turns out Ray Ray really is a crooked cop. And then he's saying, hey, I ain't here for none of that. I just need to make sure if it's y'all so I can cover for you. And then they said, well, it was cool till Tariq messed it up. He said, Tariq, man, that dude, man, his father's crazy and he cool with Slim. So, man, you all are messed up. He takes dude's cigarette out his mouth, and next thing you know, he blows dude's brain out before he can say anything in cold blood, then kills his partner, picks up his shells, and walks out. We see Cristobal and Dre, and they over there setting up fire and getting ready to burn down Tommy's warehouse. They put together everything and burn everything Tommy had to the ground behind Tommy's back. They did make it look like an accident by pouring it into electrical sockets and places, so it looked like it was an accident. We see Angie and Proctor, and they're talking and they're trying to have a meeting. He wants to work with her and join forces, but the meeting didn't actually go well. She didn't wasn't really feeling what he had to say, and she walked away, left him hanging. We see Tommy talking with Dre, and Dre is telling him, hey man, the warehouse, everything burned up, the drugs. The fire marshal said it was an electrical fire, so it was an accident. And at the same time, Tommy pissed. He think that's horrible. He talked to the Primaris, and they all kind of pissed, wanting their money back or something. And Cristobal say, man, you've been tripping this and that. I think it's time for me to step. I'm gonna walk away. And Tommy, he kind of caught off guard. He pissed. He tell Cristobal, come here. Then he tell him get the F out of here. Then he talked to everybody else and made sure that they were still on board. And so then he talked to Dre, and then they was walking away, and he was telling Dre, hey, I'm going to kill everybody, Jimenez and everybody, and Cristobal. He get a little more booger sugar, and he good to go. And Dre is looking like, man, this dude's a crackhead. We see Ghost talking with Councilman Tate, and he's talking about his compensation plan with Simon Stern. And he's saying, the project is important, but, I'm getting screwed. He said, I'll help you out. We see Ray Ray in full uniform come to the school looking for Tariq, and he talked to his sister, and she says she don't know where he is. Tariq is with his girlfriend, and he getting drunk off that lean, and he's telling her, hey, I gotta go to Choke, and he's saying, why don't you come to my school dance? She say, nah, but we can do a little something later. So that put a smile on his face. We see Tasha and Keisha, and they sitting there getting drunk, with some wine in the house talking. And she's saying how she want to go straight and how they gonna open up weave shops, and then she's saying nothing to do with Tommy. um, then Ghost is talking at the council meeting with Simon Stern, and then Councilman Tate brings up the compensation plan, which Simon Stern then has to be forced in front of everybody to say he gonna fix it. And then Tariq, he's drunk, sleep, and Raina wakes him up, busts in the room, waking him up, saying that cop came asking questions, what's going on? And he tell her, oh man, that dude, what's his name? Oh, that's Ray Ray. Oh man, he a crooked cop, man. Stay away from him. He bad news. Don't tell nobody. Don't snitch. And so she promises that she gonna look out for him, and she ain't gonna say nothing. She ain't gonna snitch. And they give each other a little dap. Tommy is talking to Jason over there, the Serbians, trying to work out some way to get some more drugs because all his stuff got burned up. At the meantime, Dre's still getting texts by Kanan. The Serbians kind of checked Tommy, put him in his place, saying, why should we deal with you after this is going bad? And Tommy's saying, hey man, I know how you operate. Give me a chance. And so he listened to him, and he say, all right, Tommy, we're gonna give you another chance. Dre a little salty because he wanted it to go bad and have the Serbians probably kill Tommy, but instead they gave Tommy another chance. And as Tommy's walking away, he said, I should have put him in the grave with Patar. So he is still kind of salty at Tommy. Tasha on the other end is on the phone with Tariq's school, and Tommy busts in loud and stuff, talking about he need her to clean some more money for him, and she say, "Nah, I'm good, I'm going straight," and left Tommy hanging. As much stuff as he done did for her whenever she needed him, now he need her, and she left him hanging, and so he's salty. He leave, and when he leaves, she say, "What happened to Mike Sandoval?" And he said, "Oh, we had to make sure he didn't live another day." So she a little salty about that kind of. Tommy goes to find Keisha. Keisha walking, and he brings her, tells her to come on in. He want to talk to her. He gets her to come in the car with him, and then he's talking to her, saying how he messed up and he's sorry and everything. And she ain't really trying to buy it. And he's saying, I messed up. My father, is alive. My mother messed me up. I need your help. I'm in trouble. And he tried to kiss her, but it ain't working. He's saying he needed to clean the money in the shop, and she ain't having it. And she get away from him and get out the car, actually, and tell him, she ain't built like that. And left Tommy hanging. So Tommy is in trouble now by herself. Angie is talking with her sister at her house when she get a knock at the door, and it's John Mock. And little Mock Daddy come in with his tux on, and he's trying to tell Angie that she's a bulldog, and he want her on his team to be in his prosecution. He think he gonna get the promotion. At the same time, they show the girl from episode 1, Maria, and she hears a ghost on the TV, and she remembers his voice when she was blindfolded and they killed up her boyfriend. And she heard him in Spanish speaking, and he was speaking the little words in Spanish on the TV. Ghost is back home with his family. Tommy come in high as hell, sniffing and nose running, and Tasha says she don't want to go to the award ceremony with Ghost. Tommy want to talk to Ghost, so they go back in the back room, and Tommy is snapping, telling them everything going wrong, and Ghost is saying, "Man, we just fixed that with the Jimenez. How all this going wrong? I know you got all this stuff with Holly and Jimenez," and Tommy mad, say, "Don't bring up Holly," and then they get upset, and he just headbutts Ghost in the eye, and then he ready to fight, ready to box. He told him give him a check for the money that he need, because he got to pay all these people off and stuff and get some more stuff. So Ghost, he's salty, but he write the check for the money he owed Tommy, and he give Tommy the money and tell Tommy he needs to get out of this house and don't come back until he's sober. Tommy leave out, he's salty, and then we see Tariq's girlfriend talking to him on the phone, asking him about that lick with the girl got killed, and he ain't trying to answer it, but he want that lean. So she said, "We supposed to be cool, and you can't answer it." So he end up spilling the beans, and at the same time, Ray Ray was right there listening the whole time. So she set him up, kind of. We see Tommy come back with the money, ready to tell everybody the good news, and Dre had went behind his back telling them they was about to go to war, so everybody then walked. And Father Callahan wanted to tell him to his face, if that's the truth, then, I'm out. And Tommy pissed, he goes and snaps on Dre, telling Dre he don't need him no more. And Dre and him argue for a second, and Dre walk away because Dre wanted to leave Tommy all by himself in the first place. We see Terry playing footsie with Tasha, brown nose, and his foot nose all up her booty, and he trying to tell her how he want to be with her and rather do anything than go to that, award ceremony. He'd rather be with her, and she's saying, "Hey, I'm gonna take Ghost's money, and I'm gonna get my money. We gonna be straight." Ghost is at the function, and everybody's smiling and stuff, and he sees Simon Stern there, and he's like, "Yeah, let me go sign this fake check for you," in front of everybody. Mock and Angie and everybody there, and he goes to see Angie, of course, and she says, "Hold on," cuts him off, and her boss is there, and everybody thought that they was gonna get the award, but it ended up being Angie. And Mock and Sax was pissed when they saw Angie get that award. At the party, this Becky right here was all over Tariq, talking about she gonna miss him and this and that, and he get the text from his girlfriend Destiny saying she out back to get the lean. So he like, "All right, I'll be right back." And Raina like, "Where you going?" He tell her, "Just be cool, I'll be back." And we see Ghost, he finally get Angie alone, want to talk to her, say, "Thank you, I know you didn't do it for me, but thanks anyway." And she busts him out with, "Hey, you could have went to Choke, but you chose to stay with Tommy. What's up? What could our life have been?" He like, "Man, who knows, but it is what it is." She walk away, Councilman Tate walk up, and then he brings this dude and talking about this Alphonse. We need to make sure he stay whole. And then Ghost like, man, what is this? And he like, hey man, I helped you out. Now it's time for you to reciprocate. We see Dre and Cristobal in the car kind of celebrating how all they planned and went well, and he's saying, what about that other thing? He says it's going on as we speak, and that's Kanan getting set up. They got these guys waiting on the steps and inside the apartment to set Kanan up, but Kanan is a hardcore thug. He kills both of these dudes. He busts the door down, get dude behind the door, he closed the door, and then he goes to work, slice dude throat, give him a Colombian necktie. He over here leaking like the Kool-Aid man right there. And Kanan ain't even blink, you know what I'm saying? He ain't do nothing but fix his hat when it was over. Then Tommy goes to see his daddy, and they over there talking about how they look alike and everything and all the shit that Tommy been going through. And he say, well, is there anything I can help you with? And he say, yeah, introduce me to the rest of my family, which is going to end up being a big mistake for Tommy. Meanwhile, we see Tariq looking for get his lean on out in the back of the school, and then it was come to find out it was Ray Ray that had his girlfriend phone, and he comes to see him and make sure he ain't gonna snitch, but somehow Tariq pushes away from him and runs away, and then Ray Ray's trying to find out where he went. Raina walks up and says, hey, you looking for my brother? And to Ray Ray's credit, he tries to play it off saying, yeah, I was just here to talk to your principal. Have you seen your principal? And she say, I know who you are, you Ray Ray, and you need to leave my brother alone or my father gonna kill you. And right then, that sealed her fate. He blew her away. And Tariq, he was so scared he couldn't do nothing. Even if he wasn't scared, what could he have done? He'd be dead right there with her. And she was a goner after that. Ray Ray killed her and ran away. Tariq came over there, but it was really nothing left for him to do. I mean, she was dead probably instantly. She was so little and shot at point blank range, it was over. And it was all his fault. Sad episode, everybody. But thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, share, like, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.